I think it's very critical to learn from that. It's also very important to understand that everything that is happening in the war may not be equally portable to Indian context. For example, right now in the Russia-Ukraine war, a large number of FPV drones are used, first-person view drones are used. Now, in our opinion, it is something that had to be done in that instant at that moment because that was the most effective way of dealing with the situation there. But imagine if all forces in the world were to go back to the basics of training somebody to do hobby flying, which is what FPV drone piloting is.
Yeah.
The training debt we will have on our hands is going to be massive. We don't have a small army, we have millions of soldiers. And those soldiers have to be trained on a technology that goes back to the basics, which is more tuned towards human instinct. So the training debt we will create is going to be very difficult. Plus, the attritional or attributable nature of the asset and the efficacy of the solution is another vector which is not very easy to deal with, because one part is that it's not effective, so it needs to have better technology for it to become more effective, which will naturally make it a bit more advanced than a regular FPV drone. On the other hand, you also have the challenge of logistics. Now, to target one adversary, you need 10 drones and 10 munitions, and you have to, then you'll be able to neutralize the asset. While the cost arbitrage may be fine today, but the logistics of doing all of this and continuously doing all of this to neutralize an adversary is something that may have to be thought about when an alternative solution could potentially be there, which is essentially more intelligent than a regular FPV, which can be more autonomous, at the same time have the ability to have intelligence on board, can be EW resilient. So we have to think of what is the right asset to deploy that can reduce the cost of war
Got it.
for us, right? So it may not be that you are always learning from what's happening there. You're learning that yes, you need to have EW resilience, but you're also unlearning that everything happening may not directly translate.
True.
Otherwise, you might end up going down a path which may be very difficult. Imagine fighting the war of numbers against our adversary, right? Can we win the battle in the short term in terms of just sheer deployment of numbers? It's very tough, right? Because the production base there, like they're used to building about a lot of this
Cheap drones as
technology.
well. The drones where
Exactly.
you see outside, especially Iraq, Iran, and
So how do you match that volume number, right? It's going to be hard. So we can't ape what's happening elsewhere. We have to learn, we have to distill it, and we have to present a view that we believe is still relevant and going to be effective in front of what we are going to face.